estet kívánok. I'm not going to have a fashion show now. Ladies and gentlemen, hölgyeim és uraim, kedves barátaim, I'm very happy to be here today. Yes, this is true. The embassy and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Jerusalem were generous enough to support the arrival of Uri Shafrir, Nadar Oksano and Hillel Kogan to perform tonight. And tonight is the Israeli night, which I'm very proud of. They have given some workshops yesterday and the day before. And they are here as part of this very special project, dance festival, which is aimed to promote contemporary dance and to promote and encourage creative thinking and also progressive performances. When you talk about progressive, creative, this is not only things you will see in the Israeli dance, you will see it in Israel. Because today, thinking out of the box, thinking creatively, these are the two main elements which made Israel today a startup nation. So I would say that not only in innovation, Israel is one of the leading countries in the world, which would like also to cooperate with Hungary, but this is a different topic. But also in dance, we are leading the world in creativity, in thinking in an unconventional way, and also out of the box. So I am very happy to be here today. I'm very happy that you took the time to come and see the 3 Israeli guest performances here. But if you want to see the whole picture, it's only 3 hours. You go to Litz Ferenc airport, you buy a ticket, very cheap, and you visit Israel. I'm serious. I'm serious. Yeah. Let me just finish, not to talk about dance because I'm not an expert, but I like very much the visual aspect of it. Talking back about Israel, about creativity and unconventional way of thinking, Israel is a place which every man and woman must visit at least once in their life because of its uniqueness, be it in culture, be it in science, technology, or dance. So I would like to wish you I'm sure it will be a very creative evening today, a very special night, and thank you for making Israel in one of the center of your performances, and I wish you good luck and hope to see you also next year. All the best. Szép jó estét kívánok.
Thank you very much for this spectacular evening, because we had 3 very wonderful performances, very different and very rich performances from, I think, very good artists, but also artists with great hearts and lots of feelings to share with us. Your piece was the first one, and I also had the honor to participate in your Gaga workshop, and I was feeling such a joy when I saw your movements, and I realized, oh, this is letting go, and I recognized the movements from Gaga. Did you use the technique making this choreography, or did you use something else?
I don't think I ever intended to use Gaga in my piece as a movement technique, but since I've been doing Gaga for so long, for people who don't know what Gaga is, it's the movement language of Ohad Naharim, which is the artistic director of L1 Dance Company, where I was dancing for a few years. Since I'm doing this movement language for quite long, I believe it's so much ingrained or embodied in my body. So, but I'm not coming from any intention to incorporate it in my piece.
And how did you work together on this piece? Which one of you were the leader, or did you have the same amount of input? Both?
I think I was more leading it, but of course it was a very mutual work process. we were just both playing with different kind of tasks to create the material. Yeah, and the editing and the putting piece by piece together was my responsibility.
Do you regularly use other mediums like the iPad in your shows or in your performances?
No, it was the first time I did it. That was a part of that was an exercise that we did. That was trying to think of a way to introduce ourselves. So this was my kind of way to make a self-portrait of who I am, in a way. And Omer's idea to this exercise was actually to use the recording that we heard in the beginning, which was his voice, and he's speaking about the process of becoming 30 years old and the changes that he faces because of this process, which were very, very scary, but also exciting. And for him was actually a very big challenge to use this audio cassette in the piece because it's very intimate, and we had a lot of argument whether to use it or not. But I believe that it's for the best if we use it. It's in Hebrew, so you don't understand. Maybe some of you don't understand the language, but it is very, very intimate recording.
And the second recording is from you?
Yes, the second recording was me when I was 5 years old, reading a child's book, which I didn't really plan to use it until a very late stage, and I just discovered. I only lately discovered, after many times we've done this piece, I only realized quite lately that Omer is speaking about becoming 30, and I'm reading a book which is called That Boy Is Me. And I want everybody to know that that boy is me. And it's so much about childhood and about boyhood. And I didn't make the link, you know, and I just realized that it's really about that. It's about wanting to stay a child, which Omer is speaking about it in his own recording.
And you also do the pillow fight. And
right.
You play around and goof around
right.
with each other.
Right. Yeah, it's I think we discovered throughout the process of the creation that this piece is about growing up. We didn't really know. We found out within the progress. It's about growing up. It's about not wanting to growing up. You have to grow up, and yeah, just living. It's this kind of weird stage between boyhood and manhood, which you don't really know who you are and what you want to be. Yeah.
And do you want to grow up? You have to.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And you, Omer?
I want to grow up.
Yes.
I think that I start just now to realize the benefits to become criticized about it and to grow up to choice when I want to be a child, I want to be a man, and I can start playing with it. And I was very scared of the changes. And now I'm partying with it. I'm like, I have the freedom that I think we did it together. We discovered this freedom to be whoever you want and not to feel sorry about it and to explain yourself. Yeah, it's a good achievement that in your 20s you're too young to know this.
Thank you. Okay.
I just want to add that the point where we started to create this piece was we talked a lot about failure, and we wanted to address the issue of failure. We wanted to realize how to break the code and to not be afraid of failure. and this led us to actually try to fail in purpose. And throughout the whole piece, we just did exercises that intending to fail. How we can fail the most gracious way, to fail amazingly. And this was actually opening up the door to this amazing playground that anything could happen, because if you know that you're going to fail, you're much more free. And this connects you to kind of freedom that you actually have when you're a child, because you don't think about succeeding or failing, you're just doing. And that's exactly this is how we discovered that this is what it's about. It's about wanting to stay in that realm. Yeah, the impossible task. We just try to do impossible tasks and to achieve. You're going to do the impossible, no matter how.
And at the end, you were making marshmallows on fire.
Yeah.
And it was also really funny. There were so many funny moments, but it's like when you're a child, you're doing it at the bonfire, but if you're an adult, you can do it with a lighter.
Right. Yeah.
It's like you can do the same things, but you are more free to do.
Yeah, the original idea was actually to make a bonfire on stage, but no one agrees to that.
Well, thank you for not making it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. I don't want to thank you for not allowing me to do it, but yeah.
And at the end, you were running. Did I see right? You were running naked in the park.
Right. There's a lot about the fear of exposing, like the whole X-ray part, about the body that's growing old, the body that changes, and also the fear of exposing and the fear of, just being naked. And then I just felt that if I'm talking about that fear, I have to really do it, but I didn't want to really do it on stage, so I decided to do it on the screen.
It was great, I think.
Thanks.
And I really love this X-ray, and you played around with the distance also as well, like first we see you from close and then from far.
Yeah.
You had so many ideas using the iPad as well. It was lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think we might go to the other guys because they're sitting here for a long time. Thank you so much for your performance. It was brilliantly choreographed. You did the choreography alone, and you took all the three of you.
It was a process of the three of us from the beginning. I think Yochai came a little bit later, but we started me and Adi, and you cannot do things by your own. You need partner to collaborate with. I think so. Especially when you're doing a lot of improv sessions, so you need people around you, also to experience them, also to expose themselves, and to be part of the idea, whether if they are interesting or not. Because sometimes there is uninteresting ideas, but somewhere you find that they can be also interesting.
Yes, it's the process, it's the creative process. Yes. What do you bring to an improv? Images or impressions, or you have ideas already in your mind when you start doing the improv? Or you just filter through?
Sometimes you come tabula rasa to the studio and you're working with nothing, which is also something. Sometimes you come with ideas, because in that piece, Asphalt, that piece was a little bit related to childhood, and we grew up on asphalt courts, playing basketball and having friends, or sitting with friends and smoking the first cigarettes, and so there is a big story for me with this issue of asphalt, and also. It's about a little bit to work from the memories. Sometimes this memory is existing, and sometimes it's not existing. And sometimes we choose a memory. Maybe also find anything.
Yes. Thank you. Please.
My asphalt is a bit different because I grew up in a kibbutz. That my asphalt was green grass, playing soccer all the time. So I try to find my to take the childhood, the memories that I have from there, and to really they're present. Like I have a redhead friend that I can't forget, always is coming in front of my face, and sometimes even dancing with both of them. So I'm catching Nadal's head, but I'm actually, that's my friend that we just played, and I scored a goal, or I don't know what. And so in this sense, sometimes there are a few dimensions. So maybe I'm here, and this is Nadal. Maybe that's my friend from my childhood. Maybe I don't see anybody around me, and I'm only with my thoughts and my memories, and nobody exists. And but all of a sudden somebody grabs my hand or pulls me, shakes me out of it, and I'm here again. And yeah, so it's kind of fragments of memories of being here now, and yeah, what takes over me every time it's a bit different.
Adi, please. Tell us what's your asphalt.
Somehow it's connected a bit to what Yochai said. I feel like three of us have like a bit of a different asphalt, although we're dancing together. That somehow this playground that we have here on stage is a playground, but a frozen one or a twisted, sinking one. And for me it's a bit like connected more in the beginning of the process. It was more connected to kind of a personal story of me, and that influenced my character in this piece. That I got like frozen in, but I got also confused during the process. So like a lot about the timing of this piece. Like what is this timing, like if I'm remembering something that happened in the past, or like I am there, or like maybe I'm an adult already, or like also imagining me as a really old person coming back to this playground. And so it was sometimes a bit sad for me, or I didn't know what I feel about it, and if I'm alone with those people or not, if they are aware that I'm here or not. And we jumped from all those situations, and meeting each other during.
How do you put a memory into dance, or how do you play it out? How do you dance it?
It's a very interesting question. It's a lot about writing, a lot about being in the studio and trying to develop ideas, and how you develop ideas, how you can bring it on stage and to expose it. So it's also about processing, because it was a quite long process, and also it's about taking the time until it's coming up, because not immediately it's coming up. There is things that immediately, because when you see them slide on the bench, so you get connected immediately to some kind of idea or some kind of image. But to be connected also on the mentally and personal level, it's taking time. So it's also about writing things that happened, or didn't happen. Also, it was very interesting sometimes to imagine my memory, and this is our job also as a dancer, as an actor, as a performer, is to find a path and to reach there. So
Thank you. And let's ask, I've been taking notes, just check it. What do you think about this if we are watching your piece and we have feelings but we cannot see a clear narrative? Is it okay?
The clear narrative or clear picture?
Yeah.
Like realistic?
Yeah, and no, not, I mean it was pretty realistic, but if somebody is watching you and is waiting for a story to happen, but it's not happening, it's just things happen on stage, but
there is no
story.
Yeah, there is no.
Yeah.
That's what Yochai was talking about a lot, about the dimension that you're moving inside, or am I alone and I see Adi, or maybe Adi is a friend, or maybe Adi is my mother. Well, I am. It's all the time. That question is running through the performance.
Say about this that through the process I felt this freedom from the effort of trying to find a story, to find a line. Like things take over me, and actually it happens every day, all the time, and I'm all the time, or many times find or struggle for a reason or for understanding logically what is happening, and in that sense, for me, it's connected strongly to what Uri was talking about, is his process or his interest with failure. For me, it's also a certain letting go from clear line or a narrative, but just things are taking off, things are happening, even without me trying to create A, B, C, D. And it's an exciting process that I went through with Nadav that was actually insisting on it strongly. I enjoyed it a lot.
I remember that we had a discussion because there was points that I felt like the piece is not clear, and Yochai told me it's okay that it's not clear. Remember that? That don't be afraid if you cannot put words inside and to describe it. And I was a little bit scared from that.
And how much of your own creative process is the physicality, and how much is the mind work? What do you think? Are you more of a thinker, more of a doer?
Maybe we'll get a better answer if one of them will answer.
Yeah? About you? Okay, yeah, good. Adi, what do you think?
I have to think. But you are more, I think that you are a doer. Yes? That you are a doer, if I can answer for you. And sometimes, okay, I can say that many times you make us work during the process more from an emotional state and less from the mind. So this is how for me many materials came up, and yes.
I just remember, don't feel all the time. Just, you were telling us many moments. All the time you're feeling, you're sensing. Don't just do like in the activeness, do this now do this. You know what, let's change this. Now, this is the doer that I think Adi was referring to, that I also connect. Yalla, also something mainly that I enjoyed you as a choreographer, that I can say was refreshing for me, this process.
Did they answer right?
I like to work from the physical aspect, also the emotional, but we have the tendency to feel all the time, and this is what I'm trying to avoid. Like I would prefer that the body will talk less than what I feel, if it's correct, or like to find the tuning part that it's coming from the physical. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And our last performers, another Adi. Was it actually, and Hillel, of course, was it actually a joke you were referring to when he said his name Adi? Okay, we have so many Adi. It's like there is a female and a male version for the name Adi.
Yeah, maybe Adi will answer this.
Yeah. We have a male and female version of Adi. Yeah, it's a very common name, I think. Yeah. Also Arab, also Jewish name, yeah. My grandma gave me this name in the minute I born. They want Adi, it means jewelry in Hebrew. So yeah, it's very common.
This is where it started, that you have to make a difference. You have to show you are different. You are not the same. You shouldn't get mixed up. And that's when you started using the symbols. But you were also making fun of them on a really ironical, very witty, very funny way. I mean, it was mostly harmless, especially for us. But what about other audiences? Aren't they getting angry and insulted by your approach?
Fortunately, most of the audiences that we have performed by now in Israel and outside of Israel have received the piece in the way I wanted them to receive. I wanted them to laugh about themselves and about some aspects of the situation, and I have no intention to offend in the piece. But I have heard of some people who did not agree on the way that I presented some of the power situation from both sides. Yeah, people that thought that I'm ridiculizing the choreographer side a bit too much, or that I'm not giving enough space for Adi in the piece, that I don't give him enough text and the opportunity to answer me also. I listen to this critic, and I'm not indifferent to it. It's really, I keep thinking about it. I'm too lazy to rework the piece and to change it, now that I've learned all the text and that it's so fun to do and to try out new things. Maybe better to create a new piece and to spend the energy on a new piece and to leave it as it is. If people, mostly the people connect to it and they accept it and they understand it the way I want it to be understood. So.
And it's not a usual thing that a dancer speaks so much on stage. Do you have some kind of ambition to talk?
Ambition to talk?
I mean, like stand-up comedian? Or
yeah, I have many ambitions, and I'm in the dance field, and I'm a choreographer, and I'm a dancer, and I've been in other companies where I worked with other choreographers who use different languages. I like dance. I didn't find myself so comfortable in the theater world, the little moments that I tried it. Not all my pieces are with text, but I feel that this piece needed to be, this is the nature of the piece. I don't limit myself to a language, a body language, or to choreography. It's okay that people see this piece as a theater piece about dance, or about a choreographer and a dancer. I don't necessarily have to count the movements and how beautiful we do the movements in order to get the name. I receive recognition as a choreographer. I'm invited to a dance festival, and this is what defines the piece as dance. So.
And where did you two get to meet? How did you find Adi? I think not in your phone, in like Arab dancer.
Actually, I found him on the phone, but it was not written the Arab dancer. Adi was my student. I'm also a teacher, dance teacher, and Adi was my student. We have many years of difference, so I can be his teacher. And actually, he's the only Arab dancer I knew. So when the opportunity to create on this theme came up from outside, it was an offer to create about this theme, and I was thinking, okay, but there is only one dancer that I can use in this case. I called him, we met in a nice cafe, and from then but this is also, it reflects also the reality in Israel. It's true that there is not so much interaction, or that although there is a lot of autobiography in this piece, yeah, I'm really from the left, and I'm really voting for the left, and I read all the left newspapers, and I really live in a neighborhood with refugees, and I know what is the other, but there is not really an interchange and a connection, not in the dance field and not in my everyday life. And it's this is the reality. So it was an opportunity to raise this question as well. How can we do political dance or political art and also reflect about our own life?
And Adi, what did you think first when Hillel called you and you went to the first rehearsal and he started talking to you like a stupid child or a dumb person?
Again, sorry, the end of the question?
When you went to the first rehearsal and they said, okay, this is going to be your role, and then
first we met, Hillel told me the idea of the piece. And as an Israeli Arab who live in this conflict and in this situation, I thought it's a good idea, and it's important that people see it, especially in Israel and worldwide. But yes, and I was happy to take part in it. I think it's very important. It's to show that we have another side, and we don't just go and bomb each other. We have more faces in Israel. So, I don't think this piece can make a peace with the Jewish and Arab, but it's another way to look at it and to understand what really happened there.
What do you think art and artists can do for a better understanding? For a better understanding of each other, or a better communication, or a coexistence, as you said.
Hillel had the ambition to talk, so maybe I will let him answer this question.
Actually, this piece really asks this question, and I think it answers it in a very ridiculous way, because I cannot really. I think I'm laughing about the situation because I don't have the answers, so that I don't have depression, or that I don't feel I cannot do anything. I have to laugh about it, because your question is right. It's a question that artists should ask themselves, or people should ask themselves, and I'm asking myself this question: how can I contribute to this? How can I promote communication, understanding, accepting the other, and because each one of us is other in some way. Yeah, in a different situation, we all experience being out of the circle and out of the power, and it's not a nice feeling at all. And I think we can all identify with this place, but what we can do, I think we mostly don't know how to solve this. And my impotence is being amplified into laughing and into dancing and into creating this question on stage and making myself ridiculous, yeah? So, because I don't have the answer, so I'm sorry I cannot answer you. I spoke a lot, but I cannot answer.
As we have many artists here, what is your opinion about this as artists? How do you relate to that? What are your ideas that you can put into your work, or you don't want to mix it in your work, or it's like, it's politics, leave it out of the stage. What do you think, Uri? You are also an artist. What is your relationship to this? Do you believe art can do anything for better understanding? Do you think artists have to deal with this conflict?
I have a tendency when I think about going into the studio and creating, I have a tendency to feel that I really don't want to talk about politics. And I feel that sometimes this exact point of view that I don't want to talk about politics, but I almost have to talk about politics, and how politics is almost invading my freedom of being what kind of artist I want to be, is already my politic statement, you know. And I feel that this is something that somehow is, I don't know how, but somehow is reflected in my piece, in my work in general. I have a very good friend where I met in the States, where he's from Lebanon, and we really want to create together, but we actually just want to visit each other. I want to visit him in Beirut, he wants to visit me in Tel Aviv, but we can't. And we wanted to create a piece together that doesn't want to talk about politics, and that would be the political statement or the political involvement of the situation. But of course, an Israeli and a Lebanese dancers who will be together on stage could not be an unpolitical piece. And this is again another cage that we are, you know. We could have been just good neighbors. We could have just danced together without any intention to create something political. But we can't.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry for disturbing you.
Yeah, it's okay.
I talked about innovation, high-tech, creativity, hummus. I didn't know that hummus can be also high-tech. So compliments to all of you. I felt very proud to be Israeli tonight. From the memories, from the first cigarette, from your dance, your piece, one fantastic, and of course the hummus. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm proud that we helped you to bring you here, and you brought real respect to us, to Israel, and especially to the art of dance, which is important. So thank you very much. Shana tova lachem. If you want to stay to continue to listen to them because it's fascinating, fine. I'm just going home.
Thank you very much for this wonderful discussion at the end. I would love to go on, but we have to leave, unfortunately. But if you could stay a little bit longer, then members of the audience could catch you for just a small talk or give some feedback to you. So you are welcome to stay a little bit longer, okay? And it was a wonderful evening. Thank you again and again.
Thank you.